What is going on, all you card collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan with the 40-year-old collector, and I am welcoming you to this channel. Oh, I am so pumped to have you here. I'm excited for all the content that we have coming out. I'm excited to share some of my wisdom, some of my tips, some of my tricks, and things that I've learned over my career of collecting. So you might be asking, why is this schmuck talking to me and what qualifies him to give me any type of advice whatsoever? So I've been collecting PSA graded NFL Hall of Fame rookie cards for about 20 years now. So I started really before PSA was even super big. I'll never forget the night I discovered PSA graded cards. I was hanging out in Gainesville. It was late at night. Everybody was asleep. I was up for whatever reason scrolling through eBay, and I found this 1981 Topps Joe Montana PSA 7 card. Looked super cool. I've always been a collector. I was a collector when I was a kid, so I'm 40 years old, which means I grew up in the junk wax era. So if anybody needs, fire starters, kindling, whatever, I got closets full of it. But I've always been a collector. And then about 20 years ago, like I said, I was just hanging out and I stumbled across this card. I thought it was really cool. Bought it. I think I paid $35 for it. Not long after that, came in the mail, ripped it open, took a look at it. I was like, man, this is pretty darn cool. So then I started doing a little more research into PSA. I found their PSA Set Registry, which really, really intrigued me. I've always been somebody who enjoys collecting. I enjoy competing. So now I can combine football, which I love, collecting, which I love, and competing, which I love, thanks to the Set Registry. So I was looking through that a little bit more. And then I found another card on eBay that I decided to buy. It was a Len Ford 1955. It was a PSA 8 OC. Now, at the time, obviously, I had no clue what OC was. But I thought, this is a really old card. This is really cool. I'm going to buy it. And I tell you what, when that came in the mail and I opened it up and I held it in my hand, I was done. Hook, line, and sinker. I was all in on collecting football cards. It was a surreal moment for me. As a kid, even as a kid, I remember always coveting the older cards, always coveting, the rookie cards of some of the best players out there, the legends of the game, the history of the game. And that was really what I felt like when I was holding that card. I felt like I wasn't just holding an awesome piece of cardboard with an awesome player on it, but I felt like I was holding a piece of card history, a piece of American history. I mean, the card was from 1955, and yeah, it was OC, but the colors were beautiful, the corners were beautiful. I thought about all the hands this has probably gone through, and what a miracle it was that it was in such good condition. So, that really got me excited about this hobby of collecting PSA graded cards. Over the years, I've expanded. I may primarily focus on the PSA Hall of Fame rookie cards, but I have baseball cards, I have basketball cards. You name it, I've got it. I just did my first investment into Pokemon cards the other day. So my kids are getting into Pokemon cards. And I found a really cool shop near me. And we went and we talked about it. We met with the shopkeeper and he made some recommendations. We bought some to open and we bought some to hold. So, I'm also starting to teach my kids a little bit about the hobby. We got to have fun, but there's also an investing side of things. So we're working on that. Outside of that, I'm big on self-education. So I've been doing a lot of looking on YouTube and I've seen a lot of great content creators with a whole lot of awesome information out there. But I didn't see a whole lot of people that were like me. The hobby's changed a lot. The cards have changed a lot. I'm doing a whole video on parallels. I went to look at a pop report on a Justin Herbert rookie the other day, and there were more parallels than graded cards. It was just amazing. I couldn't believe it. There was an era not long ago where everything was an insert, and I feel like now everything's a parallel. So it's a parallel of a parallel, and it was all foreign to me. We've got breakers who are screaming into cameras. Good on them. They've got tons of followers, making tons of money. That's great. We got people who are jumping on tables, people who are, doing crazy things. And it's all about views and it's all about getting people to sign up. And I totally respect that. But I want to have a little more of an informative approach. I'm super high energy, so I hope I get you pumped up from time to time, but I also want to make this, a little more business first class. There's another guy out there who I absolutely respect. I'm super envious of him, super jealous of him, and I think he's doing everything right. Like, he's collecting cards, he's building apps, he's investing, he's interviewing other people, he's doing it all through YouTube. Like, people look at him and say, oh, he invested in this card and this card lost money. Which maybe it did. We're in the middle of a bit of a downturn in the card market right now. First off, the price of the card will rebound. But when you look at everything that he's doing, from the content to the apps to the investing side of things. Like all of it plays into it, and the guy's playing chess and everybody else is playing checkers. So we'll do a video on that, and maybe I'll get lucky and he'll invite me to his channel one day. But outside of that, I wanted some cool content. I wanted something that people would watch and hopefully find value in. And I hope that another thing is that I hope this inspires people to get the next generation of card collectors involved. I hope some children find this. Everything's going to be G-rated. I hope that people get excited about this. I'm going to do a couple videos where we talk about the approachability of buying great cards. There's a lot of great cards out there of legends and superstars, and they're rookie cards, and you can get them at an affordable price. You don't have to be rich to invest in sports cards, period. I have had many different times in my life. I've had times of abundance, and I've had times of eating beanie weenies out of a can because that was what we had to do. Times when I was really involved in the market, times when I was really involved in buying sports cards, and like I just referenced, times where the thought of buying a sports card was just unfathomable because we didn't have it at the time. But I love the sport, I love collecting, and always, always, always I've ended up turning back to it. So I'll share some of those times. I've seen a bunch of up markets and down markets. So a lot of content creators that I've seen have only been dabbling in this for a few years. So I hope to bring some long-term value and some long-term relevancy to this as well. But most of all, I just hope you guys enjoy what you see. I'd love it if you subscribe. I'd love it if you like. I'd love it if you ring the bell. At the end of the day, I'm not doing this for money. Look, I'm in a hotel room tonight, right? Like I travel a lot for work. I value the time with my family when I'm at home. So I'll shoot some of these videos from a hotel room. I'm not going to have fancy cameras. I'm not going to have fancy lighting. Maybe if this gets big someday I will. But right now, I just want to put great content out there that people enjoy, coming from a genuine guy who genuinely wants you to have fun and succeed in this hobby. So that's what the 40-year-old collector is all about. I've got a bunch of videos on deck. I'm going to start dropping them a couple times a week. If you're interested, subscribe, like, hit that bell. I'd love to have you follow. Leave me some comments. And the way I'm always going to end these videos is happy collecting, because that's what it's all about. Have a great one, y'all, and I look forward to sharing more with you soon.